and I don't want it to just be like another plant tour because I see a whole bunch of those on YouTube. I want it to be plants that are interesting and unique. All plants are interesting and unique, honestly, but I really love low maintenance plants. I love plants that I don't have to think too much about. I could go on vacation for a week and know that they're not gonna die. Or plants that I don't have to water too often. So I've been a plant mom, plant parent for a little over 4 years. And when I first moved to California, I got a plant and I've killed many plants. That's how I've become a really great plant parent. And at one point I had over 40 plants and it got overwhelming, but I've gotten my collection down to about 20 plants. The plants that I'll be showing you today are my favorite plants. They are so easy to take care of, and I am very fortunate that I live in an apartment that has a lot of light. I've grown my collection and I'm really proud of my plants, and I've learned a lot about love through my plants. And I know it sounds quite cheesy, but I really do enjoy my plants, and I get so much therapy from watering my plants and just noticing their growth, because in some weird ways it feels like it's a reflection of me. If you want to get into plants, or if you want to gift someone a plant, something that's cool, something that's interesting, and something that is low maintenance, then these are the plants that you should look out for. So let's get into it. All right, bye. Not bye, but yeah, let's get into it. So the first plant today that I'm sharing with you is this pilea pepperomide, or some people like to call it the Chinese money plant or UFO plant. What is so interesting about this plant is that it has really cool leaves. It has these circle leaves. It is so easy to take care of. And I'll spin it. And this is my baby. I've had this plant for, I want to say, about a year now. I've had this plant on my wish list for about 3 years, and I've scoured like all of the plant websites, Facebook Marketplace, and the plant was just so expensive. I think at some points I would see a 3-inch pot for $20. And one day I was just in Home Depot and I found this, and I saw it in a 6-inch pot, $15. I was like, I have to have it. And it's been with me ever since. When I did get it in a 6-inch pot, I'll put a picture. It was a lot smaller, but it's grown a lot, like a lot. It's in a place that I think that it truly loves. It's in a south-facing window about 4 feet from the light. There's my UFO plant, or Chinese money plant, window plant. And about 3 weeks ago, I potted it up into an 8-inch pot. And also my pot is really cool. I love terracotta pots because they soak so much moisture away from the plant, so that way you don't feel like you're overwatering your plant. And also I fucking hate fungus gnats, so that's the reason why I also put a majority of my plants in terracotta pots. Plus, the way terracotta pots just patina, like, just look at that. It's such a beauty. Well, it's a beauty for me. So this is my top favorite plant. I just really love how weird and interesting that it looks. There's not too many plants like it, so that's why I love it so much. It's a part of my workspace area. When I'm in Zoom for my meetings for work, people see this plant, and it's just a showstopper. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. And what's really cool about this plant as well is that it will start growing babies in the soil. Let me show you. It will just start growing babies out of the soil, like literally all over. So honestly, this plant is just super rewarding. And now that I think about it, 3-inch pot for 20 bucks definitely wouldn't have been bad, but I'm really glad that I waited it out and I got this. So this is the pilea pepperomide. Again, super easy to take care of. I know I said that UFO plant was my first favorite plant, but I lied. This is my favorite plant. It is so easy, and not only is it easy, my god, it's so beautiful. Like, look at these leaves. And I know I said I really love plants that have very interesting textures or they're different. Like this plant itself, godly, is just so beautiful. Like, look at the silver on the leaves. It's almost like a silver, like a bluish silver. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see. I just don't know how to explain or show its true beauty. Literally for this plant, when the leaves start to curl inwards, like you'll start seeing the leaves, they'll literally start curling in like this. And they'll look wrinkly, and that's when you know it's time to water it. And that's what I love about this plant too. Like, it tells you when it needs attention, it tells you when it needs water. And I don't really water this plant that often. I water it maybe like once every 2 weeks. So this is definitely another plant that I highly recommend if you are new to plants and you want something that's beautiful in your place. This is another great plant, and I don't have it in a fancy pot. This is the same pot that I've had it in when I bought it. It's fine. I'm not one to always buy new pots for my plants. I tend to stick to terracotta just because I love the way terracotta patinas over time. Yeah, this is another, definitely my favorite. Like, stunning, beautiful. Get this. This is called a lemon lime maranta. Like, I just want, oh god, look at this beauty. Like, look at the leaves. They just look so velvety. Like, my god, just so fucking beautiful. The camera right now is really just not doing justice. Alright, so this by far is probably my third favorite plant here, and this is the lemon lime maranta. This is also another prayer plant, and I'm gonna show you clips at night of when the leaves fold up. Like, this plant is just so freaking beautiful. Like, look at how it just folds over the pot. For me, this one's very easy to take care of. I only water it maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks if I remember. I've had this plant for 4 years. The leaves are so beautiful. They are very velvety looking. Like, the contrast of the greens on here are insane. Like, this honestly would be an immaculate gift to give to someone. Like, maybe someone's having a housewarming, or maybe your plant, you have a friend that's really just got into plants. Like, this plant right here is such an amazing plant to give, and it's so easy to find at Home Depot. Like, you could find a 4-inch pot, I think for like $5 or $10, which I think is such a great deal for just like how lush and beautiful this plant is. Again, this is another interesting one because I love leafy plants, but I love plants that just have character. It's a showstopper. Like, look at that. I could water my plants a little bit more, but because I don't want to have pests, I tend to cut back on the watering just a bit less than I should. I'm not sure if I worded that correctly, but I cut back on watering just because I'm trying to avoid getting pests. But the tips of the leaves are super dry, but it's fine. There's no plant that's perfect. Even if the plant was like out in nature, it will still have like dried, crunchy tips. The tips give it character. So this is a absolute favorite of mine. This is the lemon lime maranta. Again, a prayer plant. Definitely a plant that I highly recommend if you are new to plants or if you want to give this away as a gift. Alright, so here we have a rubber tree. They actually make rubber from these trees. I don't know if they still do that, but yeah, like, they still They actually make rubber from these plants. I'm trying to figure out the best way to showcase its beauty, but I really don't need to do much, honestly. You know how everyone has like monsteras, and like monsteras are beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, they are majestic. But this plant right here, my God. She is a beauty. Like, look at how dark these leaves are. And then there's contrast with red veining on it. And then the undersides also too have red veining underneath it. And it's just such a beautiful lush plant to look at. Her beauty is just like, it's so understated. That's the best way that I can put in terms of this rubber tree. This plant is just super easy to care for. Right now I have it in a 10-inch pot, so it is kind of big. When I first got it, I had it in an 8-inch pot. It just wasn't growing new leaves, and there was just a lot of roots winding around and around the top of the pot. So I was like, okay, I think this plant is trying to tell me that it needs to be in a bigger pot. And I literally put it in a bigger pot, and right away it started growing new leaves. These are the new leaves that are growing in right here. Here's one, here's two, and then here's a third one. There are white spots on the plant, like right here, if you see, here you see. And that's just because of the salt from the water. So what I love to do with my plants anyways is to put them in the shower. I put 1 or 2 at a time, and I put them in the shower just to give them a nice soak, because to have this plant and water it, it's just a lot easier for me to put it inside of the shower and just let the shower do its thing. So the shower would wash it, give it a nice bath. I do, again, think I'm very fortunate that I live in an apartment that has a lot of sunlight. It's literally right next to the south-facing window. Here's the window, here's the plant. Here's the window, here's the plant. It does get a lot of the sunlight that it needs, and I think that's the reason why the leaves are so dark and lush. I only water it maybe once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks. 3 weeks is pushing it, honestly, but once every 2 weeks. It doesn't like to be in wet soil for a really long time, so that's why. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit more, some more shots. And it is in a 10-inch pot, so the pot's pretty big. And I repotted it 3 weeks ago. So I can't wait for this plant to get taller, but right now I'm just enjoying it at its height right now. So yeah, this one is super easy to take care of, super easy. This plant is literally the top easiest plant to take care of. If you are very interested in plants and you have killed your fair share of plants, but you still love the way a plant looks in your space, this plant, let me just show you this baby right here. This is my longest surviving plant, and this baby here is the snake plant. And when I first got her, most of my plants are her, by the way. I don't know why. I don't really say he that much, but I say her a lot when it comes to plants. And this plant, oh my God. My baby. I know it sounds so weird to say this, but this plant is so easy to take care of. Like, my God, I could go a month without watering this plant. And the snake plant, I think it used to be classified as a succulent, probably not so much anymore, but you really do not have to water her often. Like, she is so I'm clapping, so fucking easy to take care of. I think the only thing that she asks of you is possibly to put her in a high light area. The great thing about a snake plant is that if you don't have a lot of light, it will still survive. It just won't grow tall. I've had this plant for 5 years. I think I got it at IKEA. It was in a 6-inch or 8-inch planter. A 6 or 8-inch planter. I don't remember because it's been a while. And I think I got it for 15 bucks. It was so affordable. IKEA is another great place to get plants besides Home Depot. They just have a lot of plants. Well, before the pandemic, they had a lot of nice, interesting plants as well. Yeah, this plant here, I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's so easy to take care of. Don't water it that often. It's so beautiful. Like, look at the variegation on the leaves. Look at the contrast on the leaves, like the green and then the yellow on the edging. It looks like something you see in a coral reef in air. Like, it's just so cool to me. I'll show you more. When I first got this plant, on average it was about this tall, and one day I was like, you know, I just want to put this near the light and see what happened, and it just shot up. This leaf is so tall. Like, it's so architecturally, this plant is so fun to look at. Like, it just shoots up. A lot of plants are cool because they are very leafy in that way. Like, they have very interesting leaves and stuff like that. But this plant has like the coolest leaves because the leaves just literally shoot up and they just stand so tall. Yeah, architecturally this plant is gorgeous. So easy to take care of. It is a poisonous plant, so if you do have pets that like to chew on plants, I wouldn't recommend it. But top of the list when it comes to easy to take care of. If you travel a lot, this plant is for you. If you have a friend that likes to travel a lot, this plant is for them. Like, this plant is so easy to take care of. I love it. Right now I am watering this begonia maculata. So in terms of all of the plants that I own in my collection, this by far is the plant that has the most interesting leaf pattern on it. Even the shape of the leaf is quite phenomenal. It's a green leaf. Don't know what to call the shape of it, but I think sometimes it's called the angel wing. And it has polka dots on it, like white polka dots, but it's not really white polka dots, it's silver. And the back of the leaf, the underside of the leaf is red. I got this plant at Black Girl Greenhouse in Oakland. I had this plant on my wish list since I became a plant parent. And I knew that it would be a difficult plant to take care of just because it likes to have, it likes moist soil. It likes its soil to be moist. I don't like to water my plants that often, but I've gotten to a place where I'm pretty good at sensing when my plants need water and things like that. So I got it, and when I first got it, it was in a 6-inch pot. I've had this plant for a little bit over a year now, and it has just grown, in the word of TI, expeditiously. I have it in the kitchen. It does love moisture. And sometimes this place does get a bit dry, but I do my best to give it the best conditions I can give it, considering where I live. Yeah, this plant is just incredibly phenomenal. Like, so when it has a new leaf growing in, it looks like this. It like starts off like really crinkly and really small, and then it grows big into like these big lush, like, look at that. Look at how big that is. I know I said this about almost all my plants, but showstopper. This plant, it takes up space. So you have to have space because it's just going to grow and just become wild like the plant that it is. I am in complete awe of this plant, complete adoration of this plant. I'm very happy to be immersed in its presence. Like, I know that sounds weird, but plants really do bring joy and light to my space, and it's almost so metaphoric for me in terms of my own life. Like, as I get older, I take up more space, I become more beautiful, I become more lush, I become more wise, I become more rooted. And that's what brings me joy when I'm with these plants. So here are some beautiful snapshots of this plants. I water in the sink because it's just so easy, so excuse my sink with dishes in it. Alright, so that's it for my plant video. I hope you enjoyed the plants that I showed you today. Plants are so cool. Like, plants are really, really cool. I love plants so much if you can't tell. I just love what they do for my space. They are so fun. They bring me so much joy. I'm super grateful for plants. I'm super grateful to even be able to have plants and take care of them. And plants just bring so much life into my apartment. You want to bring life into your apartment. The plants that I recommended today are a great way to start. Just to start building up your collection, or even gifting a friend some of these plants. And I'm pretty positive they'll be happy with it. So I really hope that you start to build your plant collection, and if you are a plant owner like me, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.